So what happened? Why now do I have a stage full of people? We could have more, and we want more, but why now do I have all of you guys?
We're in vogue at the moment.
Yeah.
Our shows make money.
Yeah.
Well, our shows, people watch.
People watch. I mean, I remember when we were getting Power off the ground, and one of my bosses said, Ride Along had just come out, and he said, I want that Ride Along money. And I was like, wow, well, this show isn't anything like Ride Along. So, unless you want me to write a very comedic, short, loud person into this show. But I think, but I think it actually, I mean, I always say this to people, but the color that matters in Hollywood is green. And so we're making money for people. That's why we're sitting here. That's it.
So, are you black first, or are you a showrunner first?
I'm black.
Well, I'm black all the time. I guess that's first.
Yeah, when the cops pull you over, you're like, hey, I'm a showrunner.
Okay, well, maybe I'll be more specific. On the job, are you black first, or are you a showrunner first?
I mean, you're always black. You can't walk away from that, period. And the fact that we're able to not have to be able to do our jobs mutually exclusively in terms of our culture and the job, you know, is a dream come true. You know, but at the same time, I mean, the thing is that so many people came ahead of us to help that a reality. You make that reality. I mean, but that's the thing. It's like, if you look at the last 20 years, we made a lot of progress. But you look before that, even like looking at all the faces upstairs, and you just see just how hard it was to get black people on television in any capacity. And then now to have people in the capacity of being able to actually have a voice in what people are seeing in the scripts and everything else. I mean, I think all of that, cumulatively, it's a victory for all of us.
Yeah, I mean, I say I'm black first. That girl's always right there on my shoulder. And through storytelling and even the people that I have in the room, I think it's a privilege to be able to like bring people in, tell stories about the human experience, but to make sure that we're telling stories about the black experience at the same time. So I bring my full self to the job, which I think we were just talking about backstage, that, you know, it may seem like a lot of glamour, but there's a lot of drinking too. a lot of writing and pressure. So I love that I'm able to bring that entire experience there. So yeah, black first, yeah.
I would say, I think that there are three things that are inseparable from me: black, woman, mother.
Right.
I think those three are, I mean, they're in everything that I do, in every piece of what I do. When I was getting dressed to leave the house today, my daughter, you know, zipped up the back of my dress. You know, I think that there's, I can't look at any situation without looking at it in all of those ways. And yet at the same time, as a writer, you have to be able to write everyone, write every character, stand in everyone's shoes. So I think as a writer, you must be universal. You take the specifics from your experience and you apply them, but you're always trying to tell a universal truth. Otherwise, you wouldn't be up here, right? If you're not telling something that's universal always first, then I think you're lost. You're lost.
And I think bigger than that, to piggyback what Courtney's saying is, you know, not thinking about your color as a hindrance, but as a blessing. Because I think as a person of color, you're always on you're not in the majority groupthink. You're always sort of on the perimeter, having to observe how you fit into the culture, seeing how other people fit in to find your own place. And I think it actually, I see it being being helpful to see how other characters have to relate to that, and putting yourself in other people's shoes and positions to actually be a more dynamic writer.
I also think now we can be unapologetic.
Yes.
I think we can actually have those tough conversations.
Can you really?
Yeah, you can. I have.
Courtney said,
I think you can. You can try. I think you can have tough conversations.
Oh, that was you, Justin.
I think you can have tough conversations on the screen, but you can also say, I want more people of color as directors.
Yes.
I want people of color, you know, in editing jobs. I think you can have more. You don't have to say, if they send you all white writers, you're like, I'm not hiring all white writers.
Right.
I don't. Why would I do that? I think whereas before, years ago, you couldn't have those conversations, but you can like literally call people on the carpet.
Yeah, and the flip side, by the way, I just say the flip of that too is, and I would call, because my room is diverse. So 3 years ago, I had this experience where I called all the agencies and I said, I'm replacing a white woman, and I really need this particular perspective in my room. I was writing a lot of Holly at the time. I wanted that, and they sent me all black people. Invariably, no matter what I asked for, they just sent me all their black writers all the time, and I was like, that's not what I asked for. So as much as DeJuan Washington may want to write on Power, I asked you for Colleen. Can you send me Colleen, please? You know what I mean? And I would find that it would happen both ways.
Right.
Yeah.
Justin, you disagree?
No,
you don't think you can be?
I'm just shady. It's my love language.
You tackle race and gender in very honest ways on all of your shows. Does it make you feel some kind of way if a white showrunner tries to tackle race and really get in the muck of it?
Depends on the execution.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
If they're as thoughtful as I am, go for it. Yeah. Because I'm a thoughtful motherfucker, okay?
You had a problem with Django, though, as a movie.
I absolutely had a problem with Django.
Right. So I think that's where my question kind of comes from.
Well, the thoughtful thing is what I will bring up again. Because I've never heard the word nigga said as many times in as many ways as I heard. Like, it was a laugh line in that film.
Yeah.
I remember watching that film in a theater full of white people, and every time someone called Jamie Foxx a nigga, white people around me were laughing. If that's not like the definition of racism, like I kind of don't know what is. Like, I felt so attacked by that movie because I didn't see myself anywhere in that movie. Like, the villain of the movie is another black person who frankly was already dark skinned and was put in blackface. So like, that was not a thoughtful depiction of anything related to slavery. And I'm not, you can like it, it's entertainment, I get it, but I had a very negative, like, visceral reaction to that film. And part of it was because I don't think that Quentin really ever stops to consider any other point of view about blackness other than his own. And even A Hateful Eight, which I think is actually a fantastic movie, like, I almost walked out of it. I was like, if someone calls Samuel L. Jackson a nigga one more time, like, I can't, this is not even telling me a story anymore. This is just what you think the black experience is. And so if you do it with care and you research and you pull in you're inclusive of other people's voices, yeah, you can make some beautiful stuff, Like, I don't think I should only write gay black men. Like, that's too limiting. I'm a writer. Like, I should be able to write anything in any story I want, but I make sure to research that story. I make sure to interview people. I make sure to, like, make sure I'm representing that life.
And Black Twitter, we will drag you if you want.
Yes, if you get
Black Twitter. I was going to bring that up because you talked about social media being a real driving force for Power.
Oh my God, Power is like, it is crazy. When we're on, it's like, and it got to the point too where I had to fight with my network because I'm sure if you guys watch Power, it's available at midnight. The night, and so it is like they were killing us with the spoilers. You know what I mean? Like, just killing us. And I was like, can we treat the show like what it is, which is an event? Like, don't do this to me. And they're like, well, there's no way we've never done that with any other show. And I said, no other shows had these numbers. Don't act like there's precedent. I'm breaking your precedent right now. I can tell all these people, we broke the app. When they made the app, we broke the app, just like he broke Netflix. Luke Cage broke Netflix. What I'm saying is, like, we're doing all sorts of new shit, okay? This is new shit. Let us be new.
Right. I love it.
It got to the point where I was saying, please don't tweet spoilers. Do you know what I mean? I was begging the fans, like, don't ruin things. And it's like the day after 409, like the minute 409 was live, Raina's Dead was up, picture, everything. And I was like, man, what's the point of putting all this work in? And that's what I said to the network. I was like, you guys really want me to keep doing this? You have to respect the work. And they said, shh.
Oops. You said Black Twitter.
When you were talking about white depictions in terms of black subject matter. So for example, like when you look at the work that David Simon did with The Wire or The Corner, that's one thing. But then when you look at there's a split in the audience over the movie Detroit. See,
big split.
See, for me, it was
it's a racial split, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think when we see that movie, when you see that level of just you know, degradation and just violence and anger, and the fact that there are none of us behind the camera or writing it that are a part of that. You know, they're just little pieces of just nuance that make it a different experience. But then again, I mean, perfect example. It's like you and I disagree about Django because as much as you hate that movie, there are things about the movie that I like. So, for example, like when
no, but you know, it's like I don't think the movie's bad. I had an experience with the film.
Yeah.
And I continue to be annoyed with the way he writes black characters.
Yeah.
Because to a lot of white people, he is their introduction to black people.
True.
And it just bugs me.
I remember in '94 being in the theater watching Pulp Fiction. This was when Pulp Fiction, before it crossed over, when it was kind of like a niche
it's like an underground
movie.
Yeah.
And I remember when you get to the dead nigga storage scene.
Yeah.
And I remember being in this theater, you know, this was, because I'm just such a film geek. I mean, if a Woody Allen movie came out, you know, this is kind of that audience. Yeah. And they get to that routine, and then all of a sudden, everyone in the comfort of the darkness is laughing. You know, like this is the funniest thing they've ever seen. And just thinking like, damn, this is what y'all really, like how y'all laugh when we're not in the room? You know, and then at the same time, it's like, it was interesting, my reaction to Django, because I think about the scene when after he blows the guys up and gets the horse and is getting ready to get the gun and go save Broomhilda. The way that it was shot, like just in terms of, you know, the middle of the screen sweeping action and the way the camera moved, I remember tearing up because I'm like, I'd never seen a black man get the hero shot in a movie like that.
Yeah.
You know, or even the other scenes like when he's beating the, you know, when he takes the whip and beats the guy. It's like, it's kind of like the balance. So
y'all can have it. I'm just messing with you. But see, guys, black people don't always have to say.
There you go.